Super, let's start. So, yes, welcome once again. And we are in the last bit of the listening module. Today, we're going to do a quick recap. And there are two other question types that we will be focusing on, two final question types, multiple choice questions and labeling a map or a plan. Okay. Now, in the last few classes, we focused on the different question types like sentence completion, summary completion, form completion, short answer questions, match the following, table completion, and we've understood one thing, very, very important thing, which is you need to listen, read, and type or write your answers at the same time. Because if you miss out even one answer or you get distracted even for a second, the subsequent answers are going to go for a toss. Correct? So that is one thing we've understood. And another thing that we also have seen over and over again is to read instructions carefully. Correct? Whatever question type it is, it's important to read the instructions carefully, understand it, and then go ahead with the audio clip. Correct? Now, that's the same, those are the same rules that apply even in the other two question types that we're going to be doing today. Okay? I hope you all remember that majorly for completion question type, you have three main instructions: no more than one word and or a number, write no more than 2 words and or a number, and write no more than 3 words and or a number. Please tell me in case you have any doubts in understanding these instructions and what are the possible answers that you will have to write for these instructions. Let me know. Okay, you can let me know in that 1 hour window from 7 to 8 p.m. or you can even ask me here. Any doubts so far in the listening module? If everything's clear, you can type it in the chat. Aparna, hold on. Looks like you have a question. Yes, Aparna.
I actually don't remember the question, but when we were doing some exercise, there was the instruction which says only one word, but the answer, it was like some desk. So you said, I don't remember the question. So if you write only 2 words, the answer was making some sense. So if it, in that case, we just have to put a hyphen in between and write the complete answer. I'm trying to recollect the question.
Do one thing, Aparna. Anyway, I've shared all the videos, class videos with you, right? So do those and maybe, jot down the question. So I'll be able to explain it better, because without knowing what exactly you're talking about, I really don't have a reference at the moment.
Correct.
Yeah. So why don't you do that? And maybe from 7 to 8 window, you can probably ask me that either today or tomorrow once you find out where the question is.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Any other queries, guys, or all clear? Just please type it in the chat. If everything's clear, we can move on with today's session. All good? Should I wait? Should I explain something, a question type or a portion which you are not very sure of? Dr. Leenu, Vinod, Divya Teja, Stency, Jeshma, Nidin, please respond. It becomes easier. Okay, great. So we already know, we've already looked at multiple choice questions in the reading module. Okay, and again, in the listening module, we have two kinds. One is multiple choice single answers. One is multiple choice multiple answers. And you already know that multiple choice single answer basically is maybe an incomplete sentence or a question with 3 or 4 options, out of which there is only one correct answer. And in multiple choice multiple answers, you will get a question and you will be asked to select either 2, 3, or 4 options from a given list, right? Now, what are the things that you need to remember in the listening module for multiple choice questions? First, please look in the 30 seconds time when the narrator tells you to take a look at questions so-and-so to questions so-and-so, 1 to 5, 10 to 15, whatever. Please go through the questions quickly, and you can highlight or mark the keywords, and also note or be aware that there are going to be synonyms in the audio clip. You will not hear the terms as it is, okay? Another thing about multiple choice questions, be it single or multiple answers, in the listening module especially, is that you will have some distractors. When I say distractor, you know that's something that's going to probably throw you off track. Now, what usually happens is when you're listening in the multiple choice questions, you will listen to either 2 or all 3 or 4 options. Okay, but the context that they use these 3 options or 2 options will be very different, and there's only one correct answer. Okay, for example, if I'm just going to give you an example and then I'll obviously play the audio clip. It says, before giving her presentation, Katie was worried about. Okay, so let's say the audio clip goes something like this. Kate says, I was just focusing on the different kind of questions that, you know, the students would ask me, because I was just hoping nobody asks me anything which is out of what I'm teaching them. However, one thing that I was a little concerned about was using the equipment, the computer projector equipment. So in this case, she's said both A and B. But what was she actually worried about is using the projection equipment. Correct? But here she talks about both the options out of the 3. So you need to be very attentive, because if you tend to miss out, you'll think, oh, the answers are A and B. Okay, so here, what is it that they check in multiple choice questions? Whether you're listening to everything attentively, deeply, and properly, and picking up the most appropriate answer. Is it clear? Any doubts, any questions? Okay, so let's quickly look at the question, look at the 3 options, and I will play the audio clip at my end. Before giving her presentation, again, it's before, not after, so that's a very important keyword. Kate was worried about. What was she stressed about, concerned about? Being asked difficult questions, using the projection equipment, or explaining statistical results. Now, we know the 3 options. We're going to listen to the audio clip very, very carefully. I'll just share the audio clip right away. Hold on. And if you get the answer, you can type it in the chat.
Hi, Martin.
Hi, Kate. How are you?
Fine. I'm relieved to have done my presentation.
I'm sure. How did it go?
Oh, okay in the end, but I was ever so nervous beforehand. It's silly because I do know my stuff quite well. I must know those statistics inside out. But when you have to get each table of results to come up in the right order, it can make you nervous. It was my first time using the computerized projector, and I was sure I was going to get the controls wrong or something. And, of course, that's not a good situation if you know you've got to listen to questions carefully and be ready to answer quickly.
But it was fine once you got going?
Yes.
Okay, so if you got the answer, you can type it in the chat. Okay, I'm going to play the audio clip just this one time, okay? Again, remember, in your examination, you will not listen, you will not get to listen to the audio clip twice, just one time. But right now, because everybody is given an incorrect answer, I'm going to play it again. Listen carefully. They will throw you off track by talking about each and every option or two options. Okay, so be very, very attentive.
Hi, Martin.
Hi, Kate. How are you?
Fine. I'm relieved to have done my presentation.
I'm sure. How did it go?
Oh, okay in the end, but I was ever so nervous beforehand. It's silly because I do know my stuff quite well. I must know those statistics inside out. But when you have to get each table of results to come up in the right order, it can make you nervous. It was my first time using the computerized projector, and I was sure I was going to get the controls wrong or something. And, of course, that's not a good situation if you know you've got to listen to questions carefully and be ready to answer quickly.
But it was fine once you got going.
Yes.
So if you listen to it carefully and if you heard, again, now everybody send in your answers and then I'll explain. If you want to change your answer, you can go ahead and do that. Yes. Why B? Because she says that it was very silly for me to be nervous because I already know the, content very well. She says that she was using the computerized projector for the very first time and she was sure she was going to go wrong, which is why the answer is option B. So you've got to be very, very careful when you're listening, isn't it? Everybody, have you understood now? What do I mean by each and every option? You will listen to each and every option and they will throw you off track by giving you some distractors. Dr. Leenu, Aloshi, Divya Teja, Jeshma, Anirudh, is it clear? Okay. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is share a multiple choice single answer question type with you on the group. And I will play the audio clip here at my end, okay? So just give me a second. Please go through the questions and I will play the audio clip. Actually, let us go through the questions together. It says, before giving her presentation, Katie was worried about this is already done. Second one, during many presentations by students, Martin feels that the discussion of research method is not detailed enough. Lecturers do not show enough interest in their students' work. The student does not make enough eye contact with the audience. The third one, it says, what is Kate's opinion of the tutorial she attends? They involve too much presentation. They should be held more frequently. They do not have clear focus. And then fourth one is, what does Martin intend to do next semester? Make better use of the internet, improve his note-taking skills, prioritize reading lists effectively. And what problem do Kate and Martin both have when using the library? Opening hours are too short. There are too few desks at work to work at, and the catalog is difficult to use. Okay, so these are the questions. Anyway, I will be sharing my screen. You also have your questions in your in the WhatsApp group. Now I'm going to play the audio clip.
Hi, Martin.
Hi, Kate. How are you?
Fine. I'm relieved to have done my presentation.
I'm sure. How did it go?
Oh, okay in the end, but I was ever so nervous beforehand. It's silly because I do know my stuff quite well. I must know those statistics inside out. But when you have to get each table of results to come up in the right order, it can make you nervous. It was my first time using the computerized projector, and I was sure I was going to get the controls wrong or something. And, of course, that's not a good situation if you know you've got to listen to questions carefully and be ready to answer quickly.
But it was fine once you got going.
Yes.
I do feel that the standard of presentations could be improved in general. I think a lot of the lecturers agree with me, although I don't honestly know what they can be expected to do about it. Students need to appreciate the difference between style and content. Too many presentations are just a mass of detailed content, all very worthy, without any attempt to engage people's interest. Basic things like looking at your audience's faces seem to get forgotten, and that makes it harder to concentrate on the points made about the research itself.
Yes, there are quite a few improvements I'd like to see. Take tutorials, for example. I feel they're often a missed opportunity. I come out not feeling sure about what I've learnt. Week in, week out, I faithfully plough through the reading list, which is fair enough, but then the discussion doesn't seem to extract the main issues. It's frustrating.
I know what you mean. Mind you, we have to take some responsibility ourselves. I actually got quite a lot from that skills workshop I went to on taking notes, and I'd like to make similar improvements in the next semester. The reading list we get has several websites each time, and I want to learn to navigate my way round them more effectively.
Now, that sounds a good idea. Mind you, it means spending more time in the library.
If you can get in.
You mean because it's too crowded? It isn't big enough, is it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I like to work late in the evening, and it shuts before I want to finish. But I know you can access the catalogue from a laptop.
Which, personally, I haven't got. Actually, the problem for me is that I like to get up early and start work straight away, and they don't start until 9. I wish they'd change that.
Look, we ought to start working out what to do next for our project.
Yes, enough moaning.
Okay.
All right, you can share your answers. And please share all your answers in one chat. I'm going to play this audio clip just one more time, okay? Because what I've noticed is a lot of you are making mistakes in multiple choice questions because probably there are too many distractors, okay? Listen very carefully. Again, the next multiple choice, multiple answers question type, I'm not going to be playing the audio clip the second time, okay? Many of you have made mistakes in at least 1 or 2 answers. So let me just play it one more time for all of you.
Hi, Martin.
Hi, Kate. How are you?
I'm relieved to have done my presentation.
I'm sure. How did it go?
Oh, okay in the end, but I was ever so nervous beforehand. It's silly because I do know my stuff quite well. I must know those statistics inside out. But when you have to get each table of results to come up in the right order, it can make you nervous. It was my first time using the computerized projector, and I was sure I was going to get the controls wrong or something. And, of course, that's not a good situation if you know you've got to listen to questions carefully and be ready to answer quickly.
But it was fine once you got going.
Yes.
I do feel that the standard of presentations could be improved in general. I think a lot of the lecturers agree with me, although I don't honestly know what they can be expected to do about it. Students need to appreciate the difference between style and content. Too many presentations are just a mass of detailed content, all very worthy, without any attempt to engage people's interest. Basic things like looking at your audience's faces.
So here in the second one, he says usually the presentations are very detailed. So first can't be the answer. Lecturers are also he's not talking about lecturers don't show interest either, but he talks about the style is what is definitely one of the problems, and that they don't look at the face of the audience. So the answer for the second one is C.
Seem to get forgotten, and that makes it harder to concentrate on the points made about the research itself.
Yes, there are quite a few improvements I'd like to see. Take tutorials, for example. I feel they're often a missed opportunity. I come out not feeling sure about what I've learnt. Week in, week out, I faithfully plough through the reading list, which is fair enough, but then the discussion doesn't seem to extract the main issues. It's frustrating.
I know what you mean.
Again, here she says that, when she comes out of the tutorials, she doesn't really have any clear idea about what is it that they wanted to tell her about. Okay, so the answer is option C. It's not, she doesn't talk about this being needs to be held frequently. She doesn't talk about too much preparation, but then that she goes through the reading list over and over again, but then there is no clear agenda or clear focus. Okay, so the answer is C again.
Mind you, we have to take some responsibility ourselves. I actually got quite a lot from that skills workshop I went to on taking notes, and I'd like to make similar improvements in the next semester. The reading list we get has several websites each time, and I want to learn to navigate my way around them more effectively.
So here he says in the current semester, he, he sort of improved his note-taking skills because of the workshop. And he talks about how the reading lists have websites and how he would like to make, how he would like to navigate better or understand how to navigate better. Okay, which basically navigate better using the internet. So that the answer for question number 4 is option A.
Now, that sounds a good idea. Mind you, it means spending more time in the library.
If you can get in.
You mean because it's too crowded? It isn't big enough, is it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I like to work late in the evening and it shuts before I want to finish. But I know you can access the catalogue from a laptop.
Which, personally, I haven't got. Actually, the problem for me is that I like to get up early and start work straight away, and they don't start until 9. I wish they'd change that.
Look, we ought to...
So here, okay, it's too crowded, that's one thing, and she talks about she not having the catalogue at all. But what concern they both have is Martin likes to work late in the evening, but by the time he goes, the library is shut. Whereas Kate likes to wake up early and work. And she can't go to the library because it opens only at 9. So the opening hours are too short. So your answers are second and third C, option C, 4th and 5th A. Is it clear, everyone? Aparna, Dr. Leenu, Aloshi, Divyateja, Stensi, Jeshma, Anirudh, Anila. Yes? Okay, great. All right, so now let's move on and understand how to do multiple choice, multiple answers. If you have any questions meanwhile, please ask me in the chat. If everything's clear, we'll move on. The key is to listen carefully and understand. There you will get distractors in the listening module for multiple choice questions. Definitely you will get some distractors. Now, what are multiple choice, multiple answers? Okay, hold on. To do this perfect, it comes with practice, no tricks or strategy. The trick, or rather, you need to be aware of the fact that there are going to be distractors. There is no trick as such because every audio clip is going to be different. Okay, so it will get better with practice A. Secondly, make it a note or, make a note in your mind that, hey, I am going to have distractors in multiple choice questions for sure. So once you know that, you listen to it more intently, more carefully. And at the end of the day, listening module, you have to listen to each and everything carefully. Only then will you be able to get the correct answer. Okay. I hope I answered your question, Aparna. Okay. So multiple choice, multiple answers, like I just told you, you have a question with an instruction that asks you to select maybe 2, 3, or 4 options from the given list. Now, even in multiple choice, multiple answer, it is important that you understand what the question actually is asking you, what the question is talking about, and look at each and every option carefully. You obviously don't have more than 30 seconds to take a look at the options, I understand, but at least if you're able to underline certain words, when you're listening to the audio clip, you will be able to follow through, okay? In multiple choice, multiple answers, also there are going to be distractors where most or all of the options will be mentioned in the audio. So you've got to be very careful about what exactly the audio clip is actually talking about, okay? So here it says, which 2 things does Alice say about the Dolphin Conservation Trust? 2 things, okay? Children make up most of the membership. So you may listen to a certain percentage of children that are a part of this DCT or Dolphin Conservation Trust. Listen to it and understand whether it talks about maximum membership or make up most of the membership, or no, it's just a small part of the membership. It's the country's largest conservation organization. Largest is a key word here, okay? It helps finance campaigns for changes in fishing practices. It employs several dolphin experts full-time, or, hold on, or volunteers help in various ways. So you need to understand that there is a possibility that they're going to talk about children in this audio clip. Maybe they make up the most part of the membership, or maybe not. Then they may talk about the size of the conservation or of this conservation trust, okay? They may tell you if they are able to help fishing campaigns for changes in fishing practices. They may talk about it. We don't know if this is going to be the answer though. So remember, there is a possibility that you'll hear these terms. So don't just listen to these keywords, listen to the whole statement that they're talking about. They employ many experts, dolphin experts full-time, or maybe they don't. Probably they're comparing it with another trust and say that, hey, they have more full-time experts, we really don't. Could be anything. And the 5th one, volunteers help in a lot of ways. So listen to the audio clip and pick 2 things that Alice says about this Dolphin Conservation Trust. And Aparna, did I answer your question, which you asked me? Please let me know if you want me to elaborate before I go ahead with multiple choice, multiple answers. Okay, great. So I'm going to play the audio clip.
Today we're pleased to have on the show Alice Bussell from the Dolphin Conservation Trust. Tell us about the trust, Alice.
Well, obviously its purpose is to protect dolphins in seas all around the world. It tries to raise people's awareness of the problems these marine creatures are suffering because of pollution and other threats. It started 10 years ago and it's one of the fastest growing animal charities in the country, although it's still fairly small compared with the big players in animal protection. We're particularly proud of the work we do in education. Last year, we visited a huge number of schools in different parts of the country, going round to talk to children and young people aged from 5 to 18. In fact, about 35% of our members are children.
Oh.
The charity uses its money to support campaigns, for example, for changes in fishing policy and so forth. It hopes soon to be able to employ its first full-time biologist with dolphin expertise to monitor populations. Of course, many people give their services on a voluntary basis, and we now have volunteers working in observation, office work and other things. I should
share your answers in the chat, and I will also tell you another trick which will help you, follow the list that they talk about generally in multiple choice, multiple answers. Okay. Just looking at everybody's answers, all right? Okay. All right. So what you can do, there's one answer which is absolutely correct. The other option is not for most of you. Okay, so let me just tell you how you can probably go through each and every option while listening to the audio clip. So she talks about Dolphin Conservation Trust to be the fastest conservation organization, fastest growing organization, but definitely it's not the largest, and especially compared to the big players is what she says. I'm going to play this one more time after I explain. So this cannot be the answer because she says fastest growing and here it says largest, two different things. Second, she says that they work with children. And she says children make up 35% of the 35% of the membership, or they 35% of the membership, and she doesn't talk about them being the largest group. Okay, and she just and 35%, not the largest group, and she doesn't even mention that. She says 35% only. Doesn't say whether they make most of the membership. So that also cannot be my answer. We talk about support campaigns, especially for changing fishing practices. This can be one of the options. And she talks about they're going to be employing their very first full-time dolphin expert. So it does not employ several dolphin experts full-time. She says first. So obviously it's not several. So that's incorrect. And she says volunteers help in various ways. So my answers are C and E. So don't just see, you will obviously get each and every option in the audio clip. Listen to the whole statement. And that's exactly why these keywords play a major role. Once you underline them, you'll be able to connect largest or fastest growing, 35% or most of the membership. Okay, first dolphin expert or several dolphin experts. Listen. Again, the key here is to listen to each and every word carefully. Okay, I'm going to play it one more time. Please remember in your examination, they will play it just once. Here, so that you understand, I'm playing it one more time, okay?
Today we're pleased to have on the show Alice Bussell from the Dolphin Conservation Trust. Tell us about the trust, Alice.
Well, obviously its purpose is to protect dolphins in seas all around the world. It tries to raise people's awareness of the problems these marine creatures are suffering because of pollution and other threats. It started 10 years ago and it's one of the fastest growing animal charities in the country, although it's still fairly small compared with the big players in animal protection. We're particularly proud of the work we do in education. Last year, we visited a huge number of schools in different parts of the country, going round to talk to children and young people aged from 5 to 18. In fact, about 35% of our members are children.
Oh.
The charity uses its money to support campaigns, for example, for changes in fishing policy and so forth. It hopes soon to be able to employ its first full-time biologist with dolphin expertise to monitor populations. Of course, many people give their services on a voluntary basis, and we now have volunteers working in observation, office work, and other things.
Is it clear? Did you understand how the answer, why I marked C and D as the answers? Yeah, two letters, C and D. Yes, clear everybody? So what is it that you need to do? Listen and compare. Okay, if you don't do that, you're going to think each and every option is the correct option. Okay, or the correct answer. Now, once again, I'm going to share multiple choice, multiple answer question type. I will share it on the screen and I will share it on WhatsApp. I will play the audio and then move on to labeling a map or a plan. Okay. So it's a combination of multiple choice single answers and multiple answers. Let's quickly go through the questions, okay? It says general course details. What is the defining characteristic of a specialized course? Defining characteristic. Taking a proficiency exam, attending the class frequently, compulsory and regular. And this is defining characteristic of specialized course. Second, the microbiology courses are available for full-time and flexible time students, microbiology students only, students on a flexible schedule. So look at it, full-time, flexible time students, or only microbiology students, or students who have a flexible schedule. The biology courses are available for all students, full-time students only, freshmen only, okay? Who are interested in microbiology courses? People who need work experience, people from off campus, people who work at hospital. A medical science course will be open next year because there are no experimental facilities. The lab equipment is too expensive. The building is damaged. And then you have, which is the quickest increasing subject in enrollment, medical science, statistics, or environmental science. Now you have multiple choice, multiple answers. It says, choose 3 letters, A to G, and write each next to questions 7 to 9. Which 3 compulsory courses must be taken? Medical science, computing, mathematics, lab techniques, statistics, medicine, or environmental science, or environmental science. Question 10, complete the sentence below. Write no more than 2 words. This is a fill in the blank question. Since you have different question types, I've just added it. There are 3 full scholarships that cover tuition and provide $1,500 cash as a dash. No more than 2 words. My answer can either be a word or 2 words. Clear? Let me just play the audio clip now.
Hello, are you Professor Van Diesen?
Yes, I am. And who might you be?
Oh, sorry, my name is Tina.
I'm a freshman here. They told me I should ask you for advice in choosing courses.
Well, that's part of what I'm here for. Please come in and sit down. Now, what are your questions?
I almost don't know. Everything is so confusing. Like, what is a specialized course?
Oh, easy. A specialized course is one that is compulsory, meaning it's a requirement for your major, and regular, so you can't place out by taking a proficiency exam.
That sounds pretty strict. Then what are all these general courses? I seem to have to take so many.
Nothing to be alarmed over. These are courses open to all students and not directly related to your major. The university offers these general courses to choose so that you can become more well-rounded individuals. For example, I see you're a microbiology major, so it might be a good idea to take some literature or history courses so that you can know something besides all science.
You mean these courses are like for fun?
That might be one way to look at it, but don't tell the literature professor such a thing. Think of a general course as the opposite of a specified course. A specified course is one that pertains directly to your major.
So, can I take any microbiology course I want?
Let's see. Oh, those courses used to be open to microbiology students only. The good thing is now it's open to students on a flexible schedule, so it's not only for full-time students. So the answer is yes, if you have the instructor's permission. May I ask you why you chose microbiology?
Well, I also like plain old biology too. You know, full-size animals. I might even become a veterinarian. Could I take some biology classes?
Well, they are open to full-time students only, which I believe is what you are. I don't know how a freshman would get along with microbiology, though. I mean, most of the students presently looking into it are from off-campus.
Off-campus?
Yes, you know, people who use it in their work at hospitals, laboratories, even a police detective. Why did you choose microbiology, if I may ask? I don't think you quite answered that.
Well, eventually I want to be a doctor. At least my dad tells me so.
If I may say so, young lady, you seem a little uncertain. Still, I think that might be a good idea for a career. Of course, if you're thinking about being either a doctor or a vet, you should take some medical science classes before you even think of applying to med school.
Great! What should I take?
There is one small problem. The new medical sciences building is under construction, so there are no experimental facilities available until next year. I'm afraid you'll have to wait, but don't forget to take those courses at the first opportunity.
Oh, bummer. Is there any other course you'd recommend for someone like me?
Well, since you seem to like animals, have you ever thought about looking into environmental science?
No, I never really thought about it before. Is it worthwhile?
Quite. In fact, it's the fastest growing subject on this campus.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 27 to 30.
The numbers are changed here. It's still the same. Quickly go through these questions.
Now listen and answer questions 27 to 30.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help noticing the long list of classes you've written out there. May I have a look?
Oh, sure.
Medical science, statistics, laboratory techniques, medicine, mathematics, computing. My, a bit of everything here.
Is it too much?
For your first semester, yes. What I suggest is starting out by taking the compulsory courses. Like we said before, the medical science can wait. Consider taking that in your sophomore year. I think I'd put off computing, too. I recommend to all freshmen that I talk to get the compulsory mathematics out of the way as early as possible, so take that one. It'll be one less difficult course you have to focus on when the science lab opens next year, and you have to catch up on classes like laboratory techniques. Your major also requires statistics, so you have to balance 2 math classes, and no doubt you should take that. Otherwise, get your required medicine course out of the way by taking something theory-based. Oh, of course, and your environmental science class, if you're interested. The others can wait, though I think computing is definitely a good idea, even though it's not required. I see, too, on your paper there you seem to have had high marks on the entrance exam.
Yeah, I guess so.
Don't be shy. Have you thought about applying for a scholarship?
Do they have any? I mean, my dad is always complaining about how much money it costs him.
In your department there are actually 3 full scholarships available. They cover tuition and provide $1,500 cash.
$1,500 cash? Party!
Please, miss, the money is intended more as a textbook allowance, not party money. If you promise to behave, I'll show you how to apply.
Great, and thanks.
All right, everybody, quickly share your answers all in one chat itself, and then I will check. Everybody share your answers. Okay. So yeah, the first one is compulsory and regular. That was quite straightforward. So C. Let me just read the option, letters. So just keep checking. Second is A. Okay, both full-time and flexible time students. The third one is B, full-time students only. The fourth one is also B. The fifth one is A. There are no experimental facilities. The sixth one is C. 7, 8, 9, you have C, E, and F. Okay. And then it says textbook allowance. Okay, the final one is textbook allowance. Okay, what I will do is I will share the audio clip also for this particular activity after class. You can practice it one more time. Okay. All right. Let me move on and we'll move on to the next question type. But have you all understood how to do multiple choice questions? Everybody? Yes, no, maybe. Is it clear? You need to pay attention. Actually, most of you have got almost all the answers right. So I don't think it's a problem. I think you've understood that you have to focus completely. Okay, good. Let's start with labeling a map or a plan. Okay, first of all, this question type. So you remember form completion question type I had mentioned comes always in section 1 or part 1. Similarly, labeling a map or a plan always comes in section 2. Okay, this is where you will listen to maybe a tour guide or somebody giving you information about different parts of a museum, a theater, maybe an old factory, whatever it is happens in section 2 or part 2 only. What do you need to do? Or when you get the 30 seconds time or some time to look at the questions, what is it that you need to focus on? First of all, please look at every landmark that's given on the map and also the places that you need to locate. You will be given a list of locations that you need to find out in the map and focus on different kinds of words. One related to direction. They may tell you, keep going straight, take the last left, the first room to your right. Okay, so listen to words related to direction, and usually it's go left, go right, go straight, like that. Sometimes they give you this north, south. Okay, so when they give this, most of the times they'll tell you directions in north, south, east, west format. Okay, so listen and see, observe carefully. Do you have this? If not, they'll say, go to the left, keep going straight, and take the third left, whatever. If you have that north and south given, most of the time the direction is in that format in such cases. Also focus on words related to location, right? Like across the street, next to the cafe, behind the library or behind the door, the door adjacent to the cafe or the door opposite the cafe is where you will find the library. Whatever you need to find out, please listen to words related to direction and words related to location. Let me show you how a map looks like just this way. Okay, here you have a lot of landmarks and many areas which you need to which are obviously not mentioned. Okay, here you have a list of places you need to find: sign-in office, gallery, key box, kitchen area, and staff notice board. Remember, the audio clip order or the sequence of the audio clip is going to be in the same way you have these options. So first you will listen to sign-in office, then you will listen to where the gallery is, then key box, and finally you will listen to staff notice board. All right, so this order is going to be the same in the audio clip. Don't worry about that. However, if you notice, there are more number of blank spaces or unknown locations or unknown areas compared to the number of places you need to find. That's again a distractor. That's again only to confuse you. So be very attentive, focus, and know you have to find only 5 places. Listen to the audio clip and also look at the landmark given to you. Usually, there are 2 ways in which they basically will give you the, they will take you to the particular place that you need to find. One is they'll constantly keep coming back to a common area. Okay, so they may say from the entrance, keep going straight, go down the stairs or climb up the stairs. These are stairs, okay? These lines here are stairs. Go down the stairs and you'll find so and so. And this is where you have the key box, an example. So they'll probably always come to that common point of an entrance. Or if there is a landmark next to it, they will give you directions from there. For example, from the entrance, go from behind the reception desk and in front of the bookstore, there is a circular region. The door next to it is the sign-in office. So what did they do? From the entrance, they took you to this reception desk, and then they took you to this bookshop, to this place E, and the door behind E is your key box or whatever. Are you getting my point? So they will take you to one particular common place and give you the directions, or they will talk about certain landmarks next to the place and give you directions to that particular location. Is it clear? Yes, no, maybe. Also, remember, even for maps, you will have to pay attention always, because you miss one landmark or you miss one direction and you will not be able to find that location. So follow it properly, understand it carefully. Now, just as an example, we will be doing this activity, and let's just quickly look at the different landmarks here. So hold on. Let me get my spotlight out. Yeah. Entrance, and right behind the entrance, there is donation. To the left is the reception desk. In the middle is a central courtyard area. To the right is the play area. Okay. From the reception desk to the left, you have the second gallery and a bookshop, and there's something in between the bookshop and the gallery. And right in front of the bookshop is a circular area. And behind this circular area, there's another place which we don't know, it's D. Now, between B and A, you have pottery display cabinet. And from A, there is another landmark, which is B. Maybe it's an entrance to B, and then you move to A. This is a flight of stairs. Next to that is a statue, or if you keep going straight from the entrance, you have a statue here. Or next to the stairs, you have a statue, and behind it is C. Next to C, you have the third gallery. This is the entrance, and this is another place which is on the wall of the gallery. Here, like I said, you have a play area, and just behind the play area, you have an unknown location, which is I, okay, and whose entrance is from here. What do we need to find out? What all areas do we need to look at? Sign-in office, gallery, key box, kitchen area, and staff notice board. Now, let me play an audio clip and let us find out where each point is.
Now, before I finish today, I wanted to help you find your way around the museum. When you start next Monday,
is everybody able to hear me clearly? I'm sorry, I will have to play it again because somebody just mentioned that they could not hear me properly. Is everybody able to hear me? Aloshi, Nidin, Divya Teja, Jeshma, Stency, you can just give me a thumbs up so I know. Okay, all right, great. I'm going to play the audio clip one more time, okay?
Now, before I finish today, I wanted to help you find your way around the museum. When you start next Monday, the first thing you'll need to do is sign in. Come through the main entrance and you'll see the main staircase straight ahead. To the right of this is the statue of the horse, and just behind that is a door. Go through that, and that's the sign-in office. Now, on the first day, you'll be working in Gallery 1. You'll find this as follows. In the central courtyard area, close to the entrance, there's a large chest where visitors put donations for the museum. The door just behind that leads to Gallery 1. The workshop you'll be taking part in starts at 11, but if you want to go in earlier, you can get the key and let yourself in. The key box is quite hard to find. Walk behind reception, and it's between the large gallery and the bookshop. I haven't mentioned breaks, lunch, etc. Unfortunately, our cafe's closed at the moment, so your best bet is to bring a packed lunch. We tend to have our sandwiches in the kitchen area. Go round the reception desk, and you'll see a small circular cabinet. The door to the kitchen area is just behind that. Now, every day, we put up notices about what's happening in the museum. Your supervisor will brief you, but if you want to check up on details, look on our staff notice board. This is in the corner of the play area, at the back, on the wall of Gallery 3. If you have any questions, I'd be...
I was also obviously showing you each and every place with the spotlight. I don't know if you noticed. Okay. If you did not, or even if you did, you can send in your answers in the chat. So your sign-in office is C. Very clearly they mentioned gallery is I, just the door next to the donations area. Your key box is between bookshop and the largest gallery. Obviously, bookshop is a very prominent landmark, so it's H. Your kitchen area or eating areas go around the reception desk, go to the circular area and the door behind it. So it's D. And staff notice board right opposite on Gallery 3 wall, which is F, because G is the entrance of Gallery 3. All right. So I hope you've understood how to do a map or a plan. I'm going to now share another map or a plan document with you guys. An activity, I will play the audio clip. It is not only map or a plan, it's a combination of a couple of questions, and then you have a map or a plan given there. Okay, we'll do that and then do a recap. If you have any questions, you can post that in the chat, and then we'll close the session for today. Okay, hold on, please. Before I share my screen, I will share the question type with you guys. Go through it. We'll discuss it anyway, and then I'll play the audio clip. So let's take a look at all the questions. It says, which two changes have been made so far during the refurbishment of the theatre? So refurbishment is renovation. Again, it's multiple choice, multiple answers. You will listen to all the options or most of the options, so be very attentive. It says some rooms now have a different use. Different type of seating has been installed, an elevator has been installed, the outside of the building has been repaired, extra seats have been added. Third and fourth question, which two facilities does the theatre currently offer to the public? Rooms for hire, backstage tours, hire of costumes, a bookshop, a cafe. Again, please remember you will listen either to all the options or most of it. Questions 5 and 6. Which two workshops does the theatre currently offer? Sound, acting, making puppets, makeup, lighting. Now listen, just understand. They may talk about all the options, but probably they'll say something like, we plan to do it, or we already did it, but now we don't have it. So they'll talk like that. They'll use past tense, future tense. So listen carefully and see which are the things they're doing at the moment. Okay. Now, let's look at the map or a plan. It's the ground floor plan of the theatre. There are 4 things that you need to find: box office, theatre manager's office, lighting box, and artistic director's office. If you notice here, I'm going to use my spotlight. There's a road, there's one entrance, and as soon as you enter here, you have a foyer, and then you have the double doors. There's another entrance which goes to room G, okay, a separate entrance for room G. Now let's look at this place which goes through the double doors. To the right side, to the right-hand side, okay, from the double doors, if you go to the right and go to the room to the right, you have F. From the double doors, when you go to the right, there is one room, D, at the corner and one room to the left, which is C. From the double doors, if you go to the left and take another left, you have the room E. There is a water cooler at the corner. Please note this is a landmark. From the water cooler, if you keep going straight and take the right, the first room is A, the second room is B. All right. Now that I've explained the whole thing to you, we'll go and listen to the audio and solve this particular task.
Hi, great to see you. I'm Jodie, and I'll be looking after both of you for the first month you're working here at the Amersham Theatre. I'll tell you something about the theatre now, then take you to meet 2 of the other staff. It's an old building, and it's been modernised several times. In fact, as you can see, we're carrying out a major refurbishment at the moment. The interior has just been repainted, and we're about to start on the exterior of the building. That'll be a big job. The work's running over budget, so we've had to postpone installing an elevator. I hope you're happy running up and down stairs. When the theatre was built, people were generally slimmer and shorter than now, and the seats were very close together. We've replaced them with larger seats, with more legroom. This means fewer seats in total, but we've taken the opportunity to install seats that can easily be moved to create different acting spaces. We've also turned a few storerooms over to other purposes, like using them for meetings. We try hard to involve members of the public in the theatre. One way is by organising backstage tours, so people can be shown round the building and learn how a theatre operates. These are proving very popular. What we're finding is that people want to have lunch or a cup of coffee while they're here, so we're looking into the possibility of opening a cafe in due course. We have a bookshop which specialises in books about drama, and that attracts plenty of customers. Then there are 2 large rooms that will be decorated next month, and they'll be available for hire, for conferences and private functions, such as parties. We're also considering hiring out costumes to amateur drama clubs. Now I want to tell you about our workshops. We recently started a programme of workshops that anyone can join. Eventually, we intend to run courses in acting, but we're waiting until we've got the right people in place as trainers. That's proving more difficult than we'd expected. There's a big demand to learn about the technical side of putting on a production, and our lighting workshop has already started with great success. We're going to start one on sound next month. A number of people have inquired about workshops on makeup, and that's something we're considering for the future. A surprise success is the workshop on making puppets. We happen to have someone working here who does it as a hobby, and she offered to run a workshop. It was so popular, we're now running them every month. Now, a word about the layout of the building. The auditorium, stage and dressing rooms for the actors are all below ground level. Here on the ground floor, we have most of the rooms that the public doesn't see. The majority are internal, so they have windows in the roof to light them. Standing here in the foyer, you're probably wondering why the box office isn't here, where the public would expect to find it. Well, you might have noticed it on your way in. Although it's part of this building, it's next door, with a separate entrance from the road. For the theatre manager's office, you go across the foyer and through the double doors. Turn right, and it's the room at the end of the corridor, with the door on the left. The lighting box is where the computerized stage lighting is operated, and it's at the back of the building. When you're through the double doors, turn left, turn right at the water cooler, and right again at the end. It's the second room along that corridor. The lighting box has a window into the auditorium, which of course is below us. The artistic director's office is through the double doors, turn right, and it's the first room you come to on the right-hand side. And finally, for the moment, the room where I'll take you next, the relaxation room. So, if you'd like to come with me.
So everybody share your answers in the chat. Everyone, please share your answers in the chat. Okay. Okay, let me quickly discuss. So questions 1 and 2. Again, they talk about different aspects, right? So you've got to be very careful. So what are the changes that they've made? She clearly mentioned there's no elevator, so you have to climb. However, she says now there's a different type of seating with a lot of space because people earlier used to be much thinner and shorter, but now it's all different. So the answers, the answer for question 1 is B, for question 2 is A, because they now use different, they now use a few rooms for something else, for different purposes. So answers for question 1 and 2 are B and A. 3 and 4, she talks about backstage tours. However, she does say that in future, we're thinking of having a cafe. But right now, they have a bookshop and backstage tours happening. Again, they would like to give some rooms for hire and hire of costumes, but later. So answers 3 and 4 are B and B. Questions 5 and 6, she talks about how a lot of people have inquired about various technical workshops, and one that's already going on is lighting. And she talks about sound, acting, and makeup, which probably they might do later. But one thing which she mentions that it's become a rage is option C. So questions 5 and 6, C and E. So quickly, let me run you through all the options. A, B, B, D, and C, E. Okay. Now, when you go here, map or a plan, she clearly mentions that the box office has a separate entrance. So the answer is G. Let me hold on. Yeah, box office is option C, G, I'm sorry. Theatre manager's office is through the double doors. When you take a right and the room to the corner with the door to the left, which is B. Lighting box, through the double doors, left from the water cooler, take a right, and the second room, B. And artistic director's office is through the double doors, first right and the room to the right, which is F. All right. So your answers are G, D, B, and F. Clear, everybody? Any doubts, any questions? Okay, Vinod, just a second. Let me unmute you. Yes, Dr. Linu, yes. For multiple choice, multiple answers, you have questions 1 to 2, and instead of A and B, you can write B and A. That's not wrong. Okay. Yes, Vinod, please unmute.
Yeah, it was the same question. Whether we have to maintain the order or we can switch it.
No, but your answer needs to be against the same question number. Okay, let me just tell this to everybody. Thank you for raising this question, Vinod and Dr. Linu. Now, hold on, let me share the screen. Sorry. Just a minute, please. Let me just share the right screen. Yeah. So over here you have multiple choice, multiple answers, and it says questions 1 to 2, which means if you're taking the paper-based test, on your answer sheet you have question 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 40, correct? And for each option or each question number, you have to write one specific option. So questions 1 and 2, you have 2 options, A and B. So I can either write it as B, A, or I can write it as A, B. Okay, is it clear? So the order is not a problem, but you need to write your answer against the proper question number. Is it clear? So if it's 3 and 4, the answers are B and D. So against question 3, I can write D. Against question 4, I can write B, or vice versa. All right. This is only for multiple choice, multiple answers. Okay. Not for every question type. Is it clear, everyone? Yes, no, maybe? Please tell me in the chat. Is it clear? Yes. Have any queries? Okay. Looks like it is clear. Now let's move on. Again, what did we do today? We understood multiple choice questions. Please remember there'll always be distractors for both single and multiple answers. You've got to look at the options and listen to the audio clip properly and mark the appropriate one. In the time that you get to take a look at the questions, you can underline or highlight keywords. All right. For labeling a map or a plan also, you need to focus on the different kinds of words, the landmarks that are already given, and the areas that you need to find, and use the landmarks and the audio clip to pick up the correct answer. Yes. Any doubts, any questions? I'll give you one last minute. If you want, you can just quickly drop your questions in the chat. If everything's clear, you can just write clear and we can close the session for today. So from tomorrow, we're going to start with the writing module. Okay. Guys, all clear? You can give me a thumbs up or you can type in the chat and let me know. Great. Okay. All right then. Thank you very much. And yes, have a great evening. Thank you. I'm going to be opening the WhatsApp forum from 7 to 8. If you have any doubts or questions, you can type there as well, and I will answer your queries. I will also be sharing some multiple choice question and labeling a map or a plan home assignment. So do it whenever you have the time. Okay. Thank you very much and have a great evening, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow at 5:30. Please be on time. Bye.